Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of Mocha Mondays with me, Jateya Jones. This week's tip: track, track, record, take note. Many of us as multi passionates are good at what we do, but we don't know how we do what we do. We just open our mouth and it comes out, or we just do the thing and it's excellence, right? We don't know the steps to do what we do. So, for me, for example, I entered into my first real investment in myself, into this program thinking, oh, they're going to teach me how to really level up my business and make more money. And at the time, I was a natural networker and I was helping introverts and students network comfortably like a natural. That's not what that program was about. That brought out of me this whole clarity situation. But with that being said, I knew how to do what I knew how to do, but I didn't know how I did what I did. And so when I first entered into the realm of coaching for that coach, because she was like, you're more than networking, you do clarity. And I was like, what you talking about, Willis? Anywho, she was like, so how about we do this? How about you come on and we try out this clarity coaching for my program? And I was like, okay. Needless to say, I made transformation for so many ladies and I so thoroughly enjoyed doing it. Hence, I'm still doing it today. But for the longest, there was no rinse and repeat. I would not be able to do what I do now for as many people as I do it if I did not begin to track and do and record what I actually do. Because it was just natural. People ask a question and I'd be like, and my brain goes doot 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 blah. And they were like, oh my God. Now I know what my brain is actually doing in order to get them to that next step or that transformation or give them a plan of simple steps to success. Like, I now know what my brain does because I recorded myself. I watched the videos back. I took notes. I was like, oh, I asked that same question 500 times. Oh, I see what I did there. That's how we got to the ABCs of clarity. Oh, I see what I. So you have to track. You gotta track. You gotta record. This is why I encourage you guys to journal, journal, journal. Because a lot of times it's already in the journal. We just never go back and read our journals. And when I actually did, I was like, well, ain't that bad a biscuit? I wrote this down like 10 years ago. Because it's what you naturally do. Your purpose is what you naturally do. It's not your title, it's not a skill set, it's what you naturally do. And you do it in your personal and your professional lives. But because you just naturally do it and you were born with it, you really don't notice when you do it. And because it's so easy for you, you dismiss it. Even though everybody else comes to you for this thing, they praise you for this thing, you don't want to charge because you're like, oh, anybody can do it. No, they can't do it like you do it, and half of them can't even do what you do. It's because that's what you naturally do. But you have to figure out what that process is, how you do it, in order to be able to rinse and repeat it to turn it into a business. There's no need for you to be, you know, doing the same thing over and over and over again if it doesn't have to be. For example, I have a client and she does this assessment with each one of her clients. And she was explaining it over and over and over and over again to each and every client. I'm like, there's a piece of this that you say the exact same thing to everybody. Let's capture that in a video. Let's put it in a module. They can watch that part, and then all you have to do is give them the specifics of the assessment to them. Save yourself some time. Save yourself some breath, right? You're repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again. Let's capture that. Bloop. Video. So you don't have to. So if there's like a simple training, let's say you, for example, I did the turn the common thread into a module. It's a workshop now because so many people needed that initial piece, but there was a lot of work that you needed to do in the beginning, and then we were ending up having a follow up. That's how I was doing it in the beginning. I would meet with you, we would work through it together, then we would have a follow up. Now you can work through it by yourself, and we can now have the follow up. You're still getting that same piece that you can get without me, and then when I come in, we can get to getting, right? To say me time, give you the space and grace to go through it and the emotions that come with it, because 9 times out of 10 normally people are like, that ain't it, even though that's it. They just don't want that to be it, even though they already know that's it. But I digress. And so I turned it into a workshop, a virtual module. People can do it whenever, however, and then we can schedule an appointment, and together we can walk through it and get you down to that sound bite of what you do. So you don't have to ramble on and on and on when people ask you what you do. And now that you also know your common thread between your passion, your purpose, and your profession, you can leverage that and pick the perfect 9 to 5 for you or start the business of your dreams. One or the other. Prime example. I digress. I've gone on longer than I normally have for Mocha Mondays because I really want you to get this. I want you to start tracking what you do because many of you are so good at what you do. You just don't know how you do it, especially my purpose-driven, multi-passionate preneurs. So get your journaling, get to tracking. And if you need to know the common thread between your passion, purpose, and profession, get the module. Get started. And then let's follow up together so we can get you to that point where you know exactly what you do. Not the titles, not the skill set, but you know what you naturally do so you can leverage it, confidently communicate it, and create the life and business of your dreams. So that's it for this week. I hope you guys have a marvelous, marvelous, marvelous Monday and an even better week. I'll see you same place, same time next week.